If this video found you today, pause for a moment. Not tomorrow, not later. Today. December 14th is not a regular date on the calendar. It's a reset point, a rare energetic moment when the universe quietly shifts the direction of certain lives. You may not hear thunder. You may not see signs flashing in the sky. But inside you, something is already moving. A subtle release, a strange calm, a feeling that something old just ended, even if you can't explain how. This is not about astrology hype. This is about alignment. And if you're here, it's because your soul is involved in this reset. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand what's changing, why it's happening now, and how to step into the transformation meant for you. Why December 14th is a destiny reset point. Some days rearrange circumstances, but a rare few rearrange direction. December 14th is not here to change what happens next. It's here to change where your life is headed. Astrologically and energetically, this day functions as a reset node, a moment when multiple cycles quietly conclude at once. Not with chaos, not with drama, but with certainty. This is the kind of ending that doesn't need explanation, because your soul already understands it. You're not being pushed forward. You're being removed from a path that no longer matches your frequency. That's why the shift feels subtle, almost unnoticeable on the surface, yet deeply final inside. The universe doesn't always close doors loudly. Sometimes it simply makes it impossible for you to walk through them again. Many people mistake this energy for exhaustion or confusion, but what's actually happening is something far more precise: timeline detachment. You may notice that situations which once stirred strong emotional reactions suddenly feel neutral, not healed, neutral. The charge is gone. The attachment has dissolved. Your energy has quietly stepped out of contracts that once required effort, justification, or emotional labor. You might also feel a sudden disinterest in goals you used to chase passionately, not because they were wrong, but because they belonged to a version of you that no longer exists. Destiny doesn't punish outdated dreams. It simply lets them fade when their role is complete. Another powerful sign of this reset is the strange feeling that forcing no longer works. Pushing brings resistance. Planning feels heavy. Overthinking leads nowhere. This isn't failure, it's feedback. The universe is signaling that the old methods cannot carry you into the next phase. Energetically, December 14th activates what ancient traditions describe as a soul recalibration. Your inner compass is being realigned. Not dramatically, not emotionally, but precisely. The shift doesn't shout for attention. It settles into place. That's why so many people feel a drop in urgency today. You're not rushing anymore. You're not panicking about timing. You're not trying to control outcomes that haven't arrived yet. This isn't because you've given up. It's because pressure has expired. When destiny resets, it never adds weight to your life. It removes friction. It strips away resistance that once made everything feel harder than it needed to be. The truth is, you are no longer meant to fight your way forward. The struggle strategy, the one that relied on effort, proving, and endurance, has reached its limit. It served its purpose. But as of today, it no longer applies. This reset is happening because your soul has already extracted the lessons it came for in the previous cycle. Staying longer would only repeat growth you've already mastered, and the universe does not waste consciousness. That's why December 14th feels quiet, but decisive. There is no dramatic announcement, no emotional explosion, just a calm knowing that something has ended and won't return. The universe doesn't negotiate when a chapter is complete. It doesn't argue. It doesn't convince. It simply moves you, gently, accurately, and permanently, onto the path that now matches who you've become. And this movement has already begun. Divine signs, you're already experiencing the shift. One of the most misunderstood truths about destiny shifts is this: they rarely arrive with chaos. Most people expect disruption, emotional storms, dramatic endings, visible collapse. But when alignment is real, it often enters quietly through a sense of calm that feels unfamiliar at first. That's because chaos belongs to resistance. Alignment belongs to peace. And if December 14th is affecting you, the signs are already present, subtle, unmistakable, and deeply personal. One of the first divine signs is that the past no longer pulls you backward. You may notice that memories which once demanded emotional attention now feel distant, not erased, not healed through effort, simply unreachable. It's not that the past was resolved, it's that it lost permission to access your energy. This happens when your soul exits an old timeline. The emotional cords disconnect without ceremony. And suddenly, replaying old conversations, regrets, or what-ifs feels pointless, not painful, just irrelevant. Another sign is an unexplainable lightness. Nothing outside has changed yet, but inside, something has lifted. Responsibilities feel less heavy. Problems feel smaller. This isn't denial. It's detachment from a future that was never meant to fully manifest. Your energy has stopped investing in outcomes that don't align with who you are now. You may also feel guided to rest instead of react. Situations that once triggered immediate responses now invite pause. Silence feels safer than explanation. Stillness feels more powerful than action. This is not avoidance, it's integration. When the soul resets, it temporarily slows external movement so internal alignment can lock in. Acting too fast would pull you back into outdated momentum. Waiting for once is not delay, it's precision. Another powerful sign shows up through synchronicities. You may notice repeating symbols, phrases, numbers, or unexpected confirmations, but instead of excitement, they bring calm certainty. You don't feel shocked by the signs, you feel recognized by them. This indicates intuition has fully taken the lead. When intuition is active, it doesn't scream. It reassures. It confirms what you already sense deep inside. You might also feel a strange sense of protection surrounding you. Certain conflicts don't reach you. Certain people fade without confrontation. Certain problems resolve themselves without your involvement. This is not luck. This is energetic filtering. When destiny corrects your path, it also adjusts what has access to you. Not everything is allowed to follow you forward. These experiences are not random. They are after effects of a destiny correction already in motion. December 14th is not designed to deliver instant rewards, dramatic miracles, or visible breakthroughs. Its purpose is more refined than that. It delivers accuracy. You are being placed where your effort will finally produce proportional results, where energy flows instead of drains, where progress no longer requires self-betrayal. That's why forcing feels wrong right now, pushing feels unnatural, chasing feels exhausting, and waiting, something you may have always struggled with, suddenly feels right. Not because you're passive, but because you trust what's unfolding beneath the surface. This is the sign many people miss. When waiting feels aligned, destiny is already moving. And if you're experiencing these signs, understand this clearly. The shift is not coming. It has already begun. The soul transformation taking place beneath the surface. Transformation is often misunderstood. Most people believe growth feels like adding more confidence, more success, more certainty, more momentum. But the deepest transformations don't feel like expansion at first. They feel like release. December 14th carries an energy that doesn't push you to become more impressive. It invites you to become less attached. Less attached to identities you had to wear to survive. Less attached to roles that once kept you safe, but no longer keep you aligned. What's unfolding beneath the surface today is subtle, but profound. Your soul is quietly shedding versions of you that were built out of necessity, not truth. You may suddenly realize that certain labels no longer fit. Ways you once described yourself feel outdated. Reactions that used to define you no longer arise. This can feel disorienting at first because the mind wants continuity, but the soul seeks accuracy. Another sign of this transformation is the loss of desire to explain yourself. You don't feel the need to justify your decisions. You don't want to narrate your healing. You don't need others to understand your growth. This isn't withdrawal, it's integration. When growth is real, it doesn't seek witnesses. It stabilizes quietly, without announcement. That's because the transformation is no longer happening for others. It's happening for alignment. Alongside this comes the release of validation seeking. Approval loses its power. Praise feels unnecessary. Criticism feels distant. You are no longer calibrating your worth based on external feedback. This marks the end of the performative self, the version of you that learned to adapt, impress, endure, or explain in order to be accepted or safe. That version carried you far, but it is no longer required. December 14th marks a pivotal shift. Your energy stops proving and begins attracting. You no longer chase outcomes through effort alone. Instead, alignment draws the right circumstances toward you. Your nervous system begins to relax because it no longer needs to stay hyper-alert or prepared for impact. This relaxation isn't laziness, it's regulation. As the nervous system settles, intuition rises. You start sensing what to do before thinking about it. Decisions feel guided rather than debated. Timing feels natural instead of forced. You may notice that your patience has changed. Waiting doesn't feel like stagnation anymore. It feels purposeful. You trust that movement will happen when it's meant to, not when fear demands it. This stage of transformation is known spiritually as destiny lock-in. Once destiny locks in, effort decreases, not because you stop acting, but because action becomes efficient. You're no longer scattering energy across multiple directions. Your life begins organizing itself around what truly matters. And when this happens, reality starts rearranging without struggle. Certain people drift out without conflict. There's no drama, no closure conversations, no emotional fallout. The connection simply completes itself. Opportunities don't disappear. They return in new forms. Something you thought was lost may resurface differently, aligned with who you are now rather than who you were then. Decisions stop feeling overwhelming. They feel obvious, not thrilling, not dramatic, just clear. And that clarity is the confirmation. When transformation is real, it doesn't demand excitement. It brings stability. It brings coherence. It brings a sense that you are finally standing in the right place, even if the view hasn't fully revealed itself yet. That's how you know this shift is genuine. It's not loud. It's not urgent. It's anchored, and it's already working on your behalf. How to align with the reset instead of resisting it. The most common mistake people make during destiny resets is assuming they must do something to make it real. When energy shifts this deeply, the instinct is to move faster, decide quicker, act harder, as if momentum alone will secure the outcome. But December 14th operates under a completely different rule. This day does not reward acceleration, it rewards trust. Trying to speed up a destiny reset only pulls you back into the very patterns the universe is dissolving. Alignment cannot be rushed because it is not created by effort, it is created by accuracy. To align with this reset, the first instruction is deceptively simple. Do not announce your transformation. There is a temptation to explain what you're feeling, to declare growth, to label the shift so it feels solid. But what is truly real does not require validation. When transformation is genuine, it settles inward before it ever becomes visible outward. Silence protects alignment. Explanation invites interference. Let the change take root without external commentary. The less you narrate it, the stronger it becomes. The second alignment key is to follow calm instead of excitement. Excitement is loud. It rushes. It wants immediate movement. Calm is steady. It doesn't demand proof. It doesn't argue with timing. December 14th asks you to choose the path that feels peaceful, even if it appears slower. The right direction will feel grounded, not electrified. When something is meant for you, it doesn't pull. It rests beside you. Excitement fades quickly. Calm sustains over time. Another crucial alignment is releasing the need for immediate proof. During a destiny reset, the soul moves first. Reality follows later. If you demand evidence too early, you reattach to control. And control belongs to the old timeline. You may not see visible changes today. You may not receive instant confirmation. You may not feel productive. And that is exactly the point. Destiny establishes position before it creates motion. Once placement is complete, events begin unfolding naturally, without force, without pressure, without struggle. The fourth alignment practice is allowing silence to guide you. Silence is not emptiness. It is information without distortion. On December 14th, answers do not arrive through noise, overthinking, or constant input. They surface in pauses, in moments when you stop asking and simply listen. Stillness is where clarity locks in. You may feel called to spend time alone, to unplug, to avoid conversations that drain rather than nourish. This is not isolation. It is recalibration. The soul needs quiet to update its instructions. Resisting this silence by filling every moment with distraction delays alignment. Trust the pauses. They are not gaps. They are gateways. It's also important to avoid forcing decisions today. If something feels unclear, let it remain that way. Confusion during a reset often means multiple outdated options are dissolving at once. Clarity arrives when only the aligned path remains. You are not meant to solve everything today. You are meant to settle into position. This reset is not about doing more, fixing more, or becoming more impressive. It's about being correctly placed, energetically, emotionally, spiritually. Once placement is complete, momentum becomes effortless. Opportunities no longer require chasing. Decisions no longer feel heavy. Progress no longer drains your energy. Life begins responding instead of resisting. That's how you know you've aligned with the reset. Not because everything has changed yet, but because nothing feels forced anymore. And when force disappears, destiny finally has room to move. If you're still here, take this moment seriously, not as entertainment, not as coincidence, but as confirmation. December 14th did not arrive to challenge you, pressure you, or demand anything from you. It arrived to release you from timelines that required struggle. from expectations that no longer fit, from versions of yourself that were built for survival, not truth. You are not behind, even if it sometimes felt that way. You are not late, even if others seem to move faster, and you are not missing anything, even if answers haven't fully appeared yet. You were never stuck. You are being repositioned. There is a difference. From this moment forward, notice how life begins to feel less tense, less urgent, less demanding. Things may still unfold slowly, but they will unfold accurately. What's meant for you won't require convincing. It won't require chasing, and it won't require you to betray your peace. Instead, it will arrive with a quiet certainty, a feeling of this fits, a sense that you're exactly where you need to be, even if the full picture hasn't revealed itself yet. That calm you're feeling right now, that's not emptiness. That's alignment settling into place. Trust the quiet moments today. Trust the pauses. Trust the way your body feels lighter, even without proof. Because destiny doesn't announce itself loudly. It doesn't rush. It doesn't compete. Destiny aligns first. And then, reality follows. And if your heart feels calm instead of excited, if you feel steady instead of anxious, if you feel grounded instead of rushed, that's not a lack of movement. That's movement done correctly. December 14th has already done its work. You don't need to force what comes next. You don't need to figure everything out tonight. Just stay present, stay open, and let alignment do what effort never could. Because from this moment on, nothing important needs to be chased. It's already on its way.